Hello, so welcome to Pear Deck. Today we are going to talk about this really great tool that you can use for student engagement, collaboration, to enhance classroom conversations, and you can also use it as an accountability tool. So let's get into it. So the purpose of this PD today, we first are going to define what Pear Deck is as a tool which fosters and enhances student engagement. We're going to be able to learn how to implement it in our classrooms effectively, so it's not just one more tech thing we're trying out, but something we can learn to be consistent with. And we're also going to identify additional resources to strengthen Pear Deck practices in the classroom. So not just giving you a tool and letting you out on your own, but giving you other resources that you can go back to even after you're done with this video that can help you. So first things first, what is Pear Deck? So Pear Deck is a tool that gives you interactive slides. It helps teachers to deliver powerful learning moments to every student every day. Pear Deck works with Google Slides as well as PowerPoint. On Google Slides, it's an extension that you can add to it. So the same way you would normally make your slides for a simple lesson or even slides for the day, Pear Deck is just an addition to that, where you can make your slides interactive, where students are actually able to respond to questions and prompts, and you get to see their responses and give feedback in real time. So overall, it really enhances the learning experience for you as a teacher playing the role of a facilitator, being able to see where students are, where they need help with, and where they feel really empowered and strengthened at. So our objectives for this PD, we want to become once again familiar with the tool Pear Deck, what it can do. And we're going to do that by setting up a Pear Deck account. I'm going to show you how we actually can present it to students and how you can use these interactive slides for formative assessments. And then we're going to end with giving you additional resources that you can go back to later to help you. So first we're going to walk through the different types of questions on Pear Deck. There are different types of questions that you can add to your Google Slides or PowerPoints that make them interactive. When we start to create our Pear Decks, we'll actually see this same format again. But what we're going to do right now is just go through what each of these do. So our text, that allows students to write a response. So you might ask students, instead of doing a typical turn and talk with a partner, you might ask them a question about a text you're reading, very similar to how we would stop and jot. Students can actually type their responses. Another text question or type of question. Another type of question is choice. So students have the ability to choose an answer from multiple choices that you create. You can give students more than 4 choices. You can give them less than 4 choices. This program is very, very flexible. Then we have number questions where students can type a number as a response. So very obvious discipline. You could use this during math. You could use it during science. You could even use it as a reflective tool as well in terms of maybe how they did on a grade or how they did on a test. What percentage they felt more confident in the content as well. So this is as flexible as you want to make it. The next one, you could create a website type question. So on a slide, you could have a link for a website that students would access. Now these last two, the draw and draggable, these two are a part of the premium version of Pear Deck. However, with the first 30 days of you using it, you do get to experience it. So with the draw one, students are able to type. They're able to draw on the actual slide itself. So this is really cool for thinking about science, for example, if you want them to label a diagram, or even in math if you're thinking of number lines. For your lower grades, if you are thinking of hands on a clock, you have a picture of a clock and you want them to draw the hands. Different ways you can use the draw one, but that is a premium feature. And then your last one, draggable, is also a premium feature as well. Students can drag items on a current slide. So you may have a vocabulary slide up in a word bank in the corner. and you may make those words draggable items for students, and then you have students separate those words based on their characteristics or definitions. So that would be a way you can use draggable. Once again, draw and draggable are part of the premium Pear Deck, but you do have access to that for the first 30 days when you join as a member. Now that we understand what the buttons do, now we're going to look at how they actually work. How does Pear Deck work with these questions? Well, in order for us to do any of that, first we need to set up a Pear Deck account. From there, I'll show you how you can make your own Pear Deck, and then how to present a Pear Deck. What we do is set up our Pear Deck account. So we're going to go to www.peardeck.com. And as you see, here's their landing page. If you scroll down, you'll see all these different articles that pretty much give you more reasons why you should consider Pear Deck to use in the classroom. They tell you the different programs that it works well with, the partners, the people who are currently in support of it, as well as some inspiration you can use for the classroom as well. So what we're going to do is sign up for free. So if you go to the very top, it says get started. We're going to click that for schools and districts. Since it's just one person for this, we're going to do for Google. All right. Then if you scroll down, once again, kind of gives you an overview of what you can expect using Pear Deck. So you can press the get started button there. They also have it at the top as well. So we're going to click get started. All right, so then it tells you teacher login. If you do not have a login account right now, I'm on a guest screen, so you could just do login with Google. I'm going to use an account that currently does not have Pear Deck with it, which is, all right, so we're in. So it says, let's set up our account. First thing we want to do, we are going to be the teacher for today. And then it'll ask you to log in with Google. How do we want to do it? Lets you know that these are all the different things that it'll happen with. We authorize it. Yes, that is me. And we're going to allow it. All right. Then it says we're one of the first ones in this case. So postal code, I'm going to go ahead and type in my school code. Which actually already exists. Connect to my school. All right, so they actually gave me, anytime somebody signs up for the first time, you actually get 30 days of unlimited access. And we'll go through all of the individual features that unlimited gives you. And then after the trial's over, you can either pay to keep the upgrade, or you just get the basic free features. And in my opinion, the free works just as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click get started. All right, and then it'll tell you we need a few more permissions. Just say I grant permission. Once again, it wants to make sure that it has permission to look at your Google Classrooms, because it does integrate with Google Classroom. It wants to make sure that it has permission to see student emails, because once again, this is a Google extension. All right, so as of right now, we have officially made our Pear Deck account. I'm now ready to create my Pear Deck. How did we get this far? We were at our landing page, we clicked create a presentation, and this pops up. Every time you click create a presentation, a new Google slide will open with this being your first slide. All right, so then I'm gonna go ahead and open up my Pear Deck from the add-on section. And let's say we want to start our day off with Pear Deck. We want students to come in with directions on the board, already knowing what to do. So I'm going to add that, and all of these are custom, are able to be customized. So find your seat, take out your classroom device. In my room, it's we have Chromebooks, so I might just say, take out your Chromebook. Let's see, find your seat and unpack all materials for the day. Take out your Chromebook, sharpen pencils, / use the restroom. Alright, and then in Pear Deck. So as you can see, this is completely customizable. It has lots of features on the side. Once again, that draggable one is a really fun one to use. However, it is a premium version, but you can feel free to add it as well. So here, how was the homework assignment? So if students liked it, they'll have a blue dot. They can either put it closer to they did like it over here, or they can drag their dot to this section over here. So this is a fun way to kind of assess how students are feeling about homework. And once again, you can customize things. So you might even ask students at the end of the lesson, how confident are you in taking a quiz on today's lesson? And that's a good indicator as well. Not only do they have the pre-made ones, but as we learned earlier, there are questions that you can use to change your slides. So let's say that we want this slide to actually be a multiple choice one. Well, if I click choice, what will happen is it will update this slide. So let's see, we'll say very confident, not so confident, unsure. All right, so we're going to update the slide. And when we update it, what we see is the bottom has now changed to students choose an option. Now, granted, you still see the dragging, but dragging is no longer an option for students because we decided to change it to the choice button. Now that we've set up our Pear Deck account and made a Pear Deck, now we're going to present our Pear Deck. Before I present it, as you can see, I've clicked some slides that were already pre-made from the template, and if I wanted to add my own, which this one I did, I just simply typed a question in. When I click text, this bar popped at the bottom letting me know that this is now considered a Pear Deck slide. So when we want to present, we're going to click present lesson. And when we present our lesson, a couple different things are going to happen. One, this big screen is going to be the same screen that is projected onto your children's screen, your student screen. This smaller one, this is your teacher dash. This is where you will be able to see takeaways from students. You'll be able to see specific answers. You'll know who gave you what answer. You'll even be able to see what students are engaged and which ones aren't based on the work that they are doing. For example, if you give a text question and only 19 out of the 21 answer, on this screen here, you can actually scroll down and it will tell you who the 3 are that did not respond to that question. So this code right here, your join code, is how your students are always going to get to your classroom. So I would suggest you, and before the beginning of your lesson, you have this code up on the board beside join PD, and just get them into the habit of as soon as they come in, they need to have this code written down or typed in their computers. So as you can see right now, it says waiting for responses. We don't have any students that are in it. However, you can look at this smaller session a few different ways. I'm actually going to widen it so we can see it a little bit better. So on the side, you can control the student screens by what you click over here. And if I zoom out, you can also see behind my teacher dash right here, this is the student screen. So they cannot control their screens unless you give them that option. And if you go down here to these 3 bars, oh, little lag, there we go. If you click these 3 bars right here, you'll see where it says turn on to student paste. When you turn on student paste, it doesn't affect the projector or the student displays. It just simply gives your kids or students the option or the ability to go through the slides whenever, however they want. So they have the ability to skip through slides. They have the ability to stay on a slide for as long as they want. If you choose not to want to do that, you want to have complete control, then you can simply click undo. And so now their screens will change again with yours. Now let's say you're on this slide. In this case, this is consider different viewpoints, and it says that students are drawing. So they're drawing or typing a different viewpoint of a different person. And you notice that a couple kids are getting silly. Once again, what they do shows up here individually. You can also have it as a grid layout or overlay layout. You can sort it by time and by student. And let's say you're ready to show the students some of the work that you think is really meaningful. So what you can do is click lock screens. When you do that, the student screens will not be able to move the current screen until you unlock it. And then when you click show responses, this screen will be this screen will be mirrored unto theirs. And then if you want to hide the responses, you can do that. And remember, their screens will stay locked until you unlock them. Now, there are times sometimes during lessons where we may have a question that comes up that we didn't necessarily plan for, but it's still a really good question and it's something we feel is meaningful. Then you can simply click new question type with current content, re-ask the same question, or a new interactive question. So in this case, I might say I have a new interactive question. Gonna click there, and I might say, okay, do you, and this is just once again kind of in the moment, do you agree with your neighbor on whatever the task is? So you simply click yes or no. You can kind of see it down here. I'll zoom in. Down here at the bottom, it'll say yes or no, and then they have those choices, yes or no, right here. And once again, on your teacher dashboard, you'll be able to see specific student responses. Then when you're ready to end your session, you can name it. So I might just call this Pear Deck Sample. When you click Publish Takeaways, what that means is each student is going to receive this exact same deck, these same Google Slides, to their Google Drive, but they're also going to see the responses that they gave you to those questions. So it's a great review tool as well. Also a great tool for parent-teacher conferences. If parents want to know what their kids are doing, what does classwork look like, this is a great way to keep up with that. Not only is it a great tool to have that communication with parents, but it also keeps your students accountable. All right, so I'm going to uncheck that for now, and I'm going to click Save and End Session, and then it brings you back to your original screen. Your task now is to create a Pear Deck all on your own. Go ahead and install the add-on for Google Slides if you haven't already, and I challenge you to try to incorporate some of Pear Deck's templates, create a new slide and add a question type to it, even take an old template and edit the question type. Then go to peardeck.com/home and explore the Sessions tab and what exporting responses looks like. Even to take it a step further and challenge your peers or ask your peers to join your Pear Deck by using your join code so that they can experience Pear Deck through you. So now we've come to the end where we're recapping. Hopefully you got a chance to be the teacher on the teacher side, looking at the teacher dashboard when creating your Pear Deck, and then hopefully you got a chance to also be the student as well and see what that experience is like for the students. So kind of wrapping it all up, why Pear Deck? Well, it's an engagement tool. So knowing that kids have the power to contribute to the classroom conversation, have the ability to express themselves other than just talking back and forth with partners, but also being able to be creative. This tool keeps them engaged. Not only does it keep them engaged, but it's a quick assessment tool for you. That teacher dashboard comes in handy. Even if you don't use the dashboard, just looking at the class as a whole, when you lock the screens and you pull up exemplars of student responses. It's a great way to gauge who in your class has concepts mastered and who still needs additional support. Classroom culture. So not only is an engagement tool, an assessment tool, but you can use this as classroom management. Pear Deck can be an easy tool that you use to get your day started, to help with transitions. Also with Pear Deck in their template library, they actually have lessons and slides that are built towards improving the classroom culture, making sure everyone feels respected, safe, and feels heard in the classroom. And it's easy integration. You can use this with Google Slides. You can use this with PowerPoint. It's very user-friendly. It doesn't take a lot of effort to implement it at all. We also have available resources for additional help. So if you need help with troubleshooting or just accessing Pear Deck, that help.peardeck.com is going to be your best bet. Now, if you need help content-wise, coming up with ideas, there are different examples from different teachers all around who've been certified by Pear Deck, who are actual classroom teachers and instructional coaches. So all these files they have are in Google Slides format, and they're ready to be used and shared. When you click on them, you make a copy and keep it moving. So very simple, kind of going back to what we just talked about with that building community, classroom management, classroom culture. So we click this building community template. We scroll down, and here we have one, view and copy deck. All right, so then here we go. And if we scroll down, we can actually, before we download it or copy it, we can actually click right here and see what it's all about. And it even gives you prompts on how you can modify and edit to fit your class. So clicking through, pretty simple things that would only take about maybe 5-6 minutes for most students for you to get a good feeling of them, for them to feel included in the classroom. So once again, it has a lot of great ways that it can be used as a tool. So hopefully this PD was helpful. I also will be sure to add my contact information if you need any additional help. But Pear Deck, their help site, help.peardeck.com, that is where you're going to get most of all of your questions solved. And if you don't see an answer for you, they are very quick with response time. Normally within 24 hours. Oftentimes it's within a few hours or even a few minutes at times when I email them for support. And they are super flexible, super open, and very excited about teachers who are willing and interested in using their tool to create a better classroom for students to learn. Thank you.